purity and untouchability, building high stone walls between the privileged and the marginalized. Against this backdrop, a scholar and poet named Sant Eknath Maharaj. That water had a singular, highly specific purpose. It was destined for the grand temple of Rameshwar, intended strictly as a divine offering to the sacred Jyoti Linga of Lord Shiva. In this era, religious law was absolute. To break a vow, divert an offering, or Eknath knew to protect the water, reminding him that the sacred offering belonged exclusively to God. Eknath looked at the dying animal. He told the crowd that the exact same Lord Shiva resides within every living being. Then he poured the entire pot of holy water directly into the donkey's mouth. Eknath was practicing samadrishti, or equal vision. In this moment, the immediate urgency of compassion outweighed the requirements of ancient ritual. This animated diagram maps the strict social hierarchy Eknath lived in. During the Shraddha ceremony, a deeply reverent ritual meant to honor deceased ancestors, custom dictated that a lavish feast be prepared and served exclusively to the upper-class Brahmins at the top of this pyramid. Before the invited guests arrived, starving people from marginalized, lower-class communities passed by, drawn by the aroma of the food. Eknath bypassed the invited elite entirely, intercepted the feast, and served it directly to the hungry outcasts. The Orthodox community was furious that a sacred offering had been given to the socially marginalized. But according to regional lore, when the ritual time arrived, the ancestors themselves appeared invisibly to accept the meal anyway. Eknath redrew the geometry of divinity. To him, providing a meal to a starving human was a direct offering to the gods. Seeing divinity in a thirsty animal or a starving traveler requires deep empathy. But testing the philosophy of equal vision gets much harder when you face a malicious enemy. A local man grew deeply jealous of Eknath's growing reputation. He decided to test the saint's famous patience. Every single morning, when Eknath finished his purifying bath in the Godavari River and walked up the steps, the man stepped forward and spat on him. Eknath did not yell, curse, or strike back. He wiped his face, turned around, walked back into the river, and bathed again. The attacker repeated his insult 108 times in a row. Eknath silently rebathed 108 times. After the final bath, Eknath walked up to the exhausted attacker and thanked him. He explained that because of the man's persistence, he had received the high spiritual merit of bathing in a sacred river 108 times in a single day. The attacker immediately collapsed at Eknath's feet in repentance. True emotional control is a powerful offensive strategy. By entirely refusing to react to provocation, a disciplined mind starves hatred of its fuel, forcing hostility to collapse in on itself. This level of radical patience requires an intense psychological shift. You cannot outlast 108 insults through sheer willpower alone. It requires the total dissolution of the ego. Eknath found this ego death through daily, intense devotion. His spiritual manual was the Haripat, relying on the philosophy of Hari Wuke Mana, the continuous chanting of God's name, to completely erase the mental boundary between himself and the universe. His devotion was so complete that traditional stories say Lord Vital, a form of Krishna, appeared in Eknath's home as a young child. The divine child stayed for years, fetching water, sweeping floors, and doing menial chores for the saint. When a human surrenders their ego so completely, the divine takes notice. In this worldview, God moves from the altar to the kitchen, actively serving the devotee who has become an instrument of universal love. Eknath used his inner clarity to drive social reform, actively inviting marginalized communities to join him in public devotional singing. When a thief broke into his house at night, Eknath didn't call for the authorities. He woke up, welcomed the intruder, and offered him a warm meal, instantly transforming a criminal into a lifelong student. These stories survive because they are the inevitable result of a mind that refuses to see anyone as an outsider. Empty formalism offers no real salvation. True spirituality is not found in hiding from the impure, but in stepping out into the world to actively love, feed, and serve the vulnerable.